People are lacking a sense of deeper knowing what is the right direction, or where we feel the most aligned with the timeline that is the best, or that serves the best our evolution and healing. So on my journey, I've been studying a lot great people, like people who've been way ahead of their time. For example, the work of Nikola Tesla. I'm a great fan of his work. And Nikola Tesla said that the gift of mental power comes from God, divine being. And if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power. However we want to translate this whole idea, you don't need to make it religious at all. Like, I'm not about religion. I'm actually about the personal empowerment. I want you to see yourself as a being that's capable of change and transformation. And when you recognize that how you are right now can be changed if there is more clarity around in whom you want to change and what you want to change in your life. For that, there's required a sense of clarity. And in clarity, you will find, like ancients would call it, the voice of God or the voice of spirit. It's the voice that just feels as something is right. And usually it creates a sense of pressure when something is not right. I want to give you some guidance today, how to connect with this sense so we can walk in clarity. So many times I receive emails and messages from people writing me that they're lacking a sense of clarity around what is their purpose or around what they truly want to do. Because they would love to contribute something to the world. They would love to walk more in purpose or do meaningful things, but they feel a lack of clarity. So I have some guidance for you that will help you on your path. You know what Nikola Tesla would say? He would say, diagnose the disruption, analyze the circuitry of the mind. That's what he would say. He would say also, before one can resolve confusion and boredom, one must first isolate the disturbance. As an engineer identifies flaws within a complex mechanism, so too must you examine your mind. Today I wrote a message that deeply resonates with this. I wrote, sometimes your passion is hidden behind boredom and confusion. Instead of feeling blocked by a lack of clarity, distance yourself from excessive information and reconnect with the inner inspiration that calls you to take action. Inspired action is aligned action, and alignment leads you to fulfillment. And when I wrote this, I just felt we need to talk about this because I feel you are seeking fulfillment. I feel anyone is seeking a bit higher fulfillment because we are creatures that are driven to improve. And improvement doesn't need to be some sort of self-help improvement, because it already comes out of not feeling good enough, or even out of self-criticism, or even self-hate. Improvement must be applied as ancient alchemists did it. They loved the work so much that they wanted to perfect it, which means you need to love yourself to such a degree that you want to perfect yourself, perfect your qualities, your talents, your skills, your mental capacities, and so on. This is a different approach because, you know, in hustle culture, you often come across people who kind of hatefully push people into change. Which sometimes we need that. I know in the past I needed that because I felt like I'm not good enough and I felt many times being lazy on something. So I needed these hard pushes. like David Goggins style, right? Sometimes I needed that. I still feel inspired sometimes by these things. Nothing wrong with it. But you come to a certain point where you notice that you actually need more than anything some self-love. And that's what I said before when I said as an engineer identifies flaws within a complex mechanism, so too must you examine your mind. You need to recognize why you're so impulsively, if that is you, why you're so impulsively seeking new information or seeking clarity or seeking new solutions, while at the same time you could just let go of all these needs and sit in quietness for 15 minutes, for example, or go for a long walk until your mind will settle. That's how you examine your mind. You recognize that most of these thoughts may be just overwhelming sensation of too many inputs. For those of you who resonate with this, the point is that you remove all external noise, whatever it is, and you really take time to just be with yourself. Reflect in solitude and uncover the root cause of the interference. It can be an overload of information. It can be misguided ambition or external influences clouding your internal compass. It happens to all of us. We may be reading too much. We may be listening too much of different ideas, different contents, different videos, whatever it is. Cure for any confusion is quietness. But quietness is annoying to many people because they just don't know if this type of whatever practice works. That's why we shouldn't just jump from one thing to another. We should stick to one thing until we experience some progress, so then we can clearly identify if it helps us or not. So a simple meditation, like sitting down for 10-15 minutes. When you feel overwhelmed, sit down for 30 minutes. Be with overwhelming sensations. Be with overthinking mind. Just pay attention to these thoughts and notice where they are leading you. Are they forming some constructive sentences that could make sense? Like sentence should make sense, right? Or are they just, some floating thoughts, floating information in your mind? If they don't make sense, they will just disappear eventually. That's how mind works. Your brain is designed to make sense out of what you perceive. When something doesn't make sense, either it will persist to make sense or it will break and you will lose the thoughts. That's how we lose memories, when they don't make sense anymore. Then the second reminder I would give to you is another thing I've learned from Nikola Tesla. When he once said, disconnect excessive input, clear the static. He was doing a lot of work with electricity. And he often looked at mind similarly as he looked at antennas. He said the mind works much like a receiver. It can be overwhelmed by too many signals. To realign with the frequency of your true purpose, you must disconnect from excessive input. This is very powerful. When you withdraw from the chaos of unnecessary information, as I said before, like books, opinions, news, expectations from others, whatever it is, you kind of retreat into an environment of minimal distraction where clarity can be found, right? So, to those of you who find yourself lacking clarity at this time, know it's quite normal for this time because we're living in times of extremes. it means there's extreme amount of information, there's extreme amount of opinions, there's extreme amount of criticism, there's extreme amount of truth coming out, extreme amount of chaos. In all the fields, if you go into self-help fields, extreme amount of solutions, tools, ideas. If you go into the world of celebrities, extreme amount of chaos and controversy and all of that coming out. If you go into the field of conspiracy theories, extreme amount of truth and information. So obviously, if you're focusing on all of that, and then there's the play of algorithms, like whatever you watch, algorithms will bring more of similar information to you. So you will feel more, distorted, more chaotic. It's all designed this way. So due to these times of extremes, you also need to be quite conscious when it comes to how much input is too much input. And here and there, withdraw from the chaos and focus back on you. And notice that when you disconnect from these things, it takes time for your mind to really settle. It takes time for your mind to get clear. It will not happen in few minutes, maybe in 1 hour, maybe one day. You need to recognize how uniquely your mind is functioning and how your mind is really dealing with all these changes that are happening. To just be aware. And then notice what uniquely inspires you. You see, if you're living every single day just consuming things, you don't even know what's happening within you, like what inspiration may arise within you. But when you kind of cut all these distractions, you will get in touch with your inner attraction. Something within you starts speaking to you, and it feels like an inspiration. I always give you this example, like so many times I could do just nothing, watch some videos or read some books or something, but if I would do that, I would not paint any painting. Like today you're watching another painting of mine. I would not do any of that. So I have time to work and I have time to study, and when I have time to work, I need to connect with myself and see what I'm willing to do today. I'm doing creative things, so I don't work well if the only thing I have are goals and very, very precise plans. And I often follow inspiration because that's how my paintings are created. I don't plan my paintings. I start painting and sometimes I see a vision in my mind and I start working on it and then it turns into something completely else. It's very creative work, and for creative work you need to be in tune with yourself. You need to listen to yourself. So you need to feel your inner current. You need to feel your inner current. The truth is, there exists a powerful current within each of us. It's like an energetic force of passion and purpose. It just moves through us. When this current is obstructed, one must reconnect with it by entering a state of resonance. That's how it works. So to enter the state of resonance, it's like it's coherent state, hard brain coherence, right? Most people live too much in their minds and therefore they're in discoherent states most of the time. Brains are in their, high beta brainwave frequencies. They feel stressed and it's hard for them to be creative and intuitive. So in order to get into a state of resonance where you actually feel a sense of passion and purpose moving through you, You need to find a state of coherence. Hard coherence happens when you slow down your breathing and give a sign to your body that it's safe. Like you focus on your heart, you slow down your breathing, and you elevate some emotions of gratitude and happiness. It works if you think about some memories that help you to feel happy and grateful. And then you keep raising these emotions and kind of get consumed by them. Kind of, be lost in gratitude, be lost in happiness, be lost in joy. It's a practice. And when you do it, heart sends the signal to the brain that it's your body is safe, and your brain calms down and it goes into an alpha brainwave frequency and then into theta brainwave frequency, and suddenly you get in touch with something that may inspire you. It doesn't happen all the time, it's a practice. But if your job or your intention is to do something creatively, well, through this practice, you can get more in sync with it. That's how you kind of start engaging with these energies that are kind of moving through you. It may happen in nature. It may happen when you observe something harmonious, something beautiful in the world. Or it may happen when you're listening your favorite music. Connect with it. And another thing that I always say to people who are asking me, how to find more clarity in a day, I always ask them what their lives would look like if they would be completely clear about what they want, how their days would be going, who are they? Like, if you can visualize an ideal day in a life, how does it look? Where are you? What are your clothes? Maybe your hairstyle, your body posture. How are you feeling? Where are you? How much money you're making? What people are around you? Just be precise about it. And often people limit themselves based by them their limiting beliefs and all of that. But don't worry about it. Just imagine this perfect day, because this will bring you some clarity, because then you can start thinking, okay, what would I need to change to become this version of me? How this version of me thinks, feels, and behaves. And that's something that brings clarity to you. Okay, I need to become more of this and less of this. And in order to become more of this, there are certain practices, certain routines, certain habits I can embody, right? And then it's a practice of consistency to become that new you. It's a great way to create more clarity in your life. And for that, you need to align this new idea of you with action, with purposeful steps, with intentional steps. If you break these steps down, well, you will just know what to do. That's how it works. So observe yourself, my friend, and recognize where you need some recalibration. Nikola Tesla spent most of his life in his studio. He said, "My best companion are books." He was studying and experimenting. You don't need to go to such extremes, but you need to recognize what would be ideal lifestyle for you and then start working on it. Stop consuming more than you are producing. Find balance between consuming and producing, and you will recognize that your life will become so much more clear. One thing I've recognized in my life is that we just need a certain type of an outlet. We need it because we are all creative beings. We have our own ideas, our own perceptions, our own creative capabilities and imagination, and the need for expression, the need to be seen, the need to be understood, the need to be noticed, the need for help, They need to be sometimes validated and appreciated. There's nothing wrong with these needs, but if we don't have an outlet, we will never fulfill them. And therefore we start escaping from these needs into consuming. So we consume information because we feel a lack of not getting what we could get if we would start expressing ourselves. You know, a sense of validation always feels great. It's not that we need it. It's not that we should seek it, but it just feels nice when we get it. Like when I put an artwork out and people notice it, it feels great. I'm not doing it for others, but it still feels great. When we do something for others, it just gives us a very, very nice feeling of belonging, of being appreciated, of being valued. And if you don't have that, it's possible that you are lacking a sense of clarity, because there's a lot of, internal chaos happening because there's something unexpressed. Potential unexpressed turns into pain. And then this pain becomes so unpleasant that you want to escape it into consumerism. And then the world is designed currently to just feed you with more toxicity, with more sugar, with more unnecessary things, with more everything, with more information, everything. So you need to recognize what is being unexpressed, unnoticed, unpleasant within you, and acknowledge it and bring it to the surface. So then you can make something meaningful out of it. Like many great artists have been through the most painful experiences, and they made the most incredible songs out of them, or artworks, or books out of it. The point is that you turn your pain into a process of creative expression. This is the point, and that will bring you so much clarity. So my friends, I hope you found something very valuable today. I think it was a very powerful message. So let me know in the comment section if it was helpful and what you found the most valuable, or what is your challenge. Share some tools or something that works for you, even a favorite affirmation that maybe helps you to get in clarity, to inspire others. So yeah, they can learn from you. It's a beautiful thing. That's why we have communities, right? I love you all, my friends. I appreciate you. I want to say thanks to everyone for choosing to support my work. We've created some new designs, some shirts, some, clothes. You can find all of my art, paintings, prints of my paintings on our store, AttractPassion.com, AttractPassion.com. You can use the code PASSION15 to get 15 off on your first order. Go and check it out. The link is in the description of this video. With that, you're supporting this mission. And also thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community, where you can get access to exclusive content, community chat, one-on-one coaching, to anyone who would love to work with me one-on-one. The link is in the description of this video. So yeah, I'm excited to meet you, my friend, and till next time, one love.